Straight all day.
You're now tuned in to the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day, to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve is yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative, which is the go-getter energy that moves all of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. Then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, techniques, mindsets, and philosophies, all under one unifying philosophy that is known as work on your game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is why the rich get richer. Why the rich get richer. We want to explain why this happens. Not only am I going to explain to you why it happens, I'm going to explain to you how you can become one of the rich who is getting richer. And I will explain to you, if you feel like you are not one of the rich who's getting richer, if you feel like you're one of the poor getting poorer, or one of the blank getting blanker, whatever that thing is, I'm going to explain to you exactly how this happens, why it is happening, the strategies and the principles behind it, and you will know exactly what you can do about it if you so choose by the end of today's masterclass, guaranteed. All that being said, hopefully I've sold you to keep listening. First, let me tell you that I send out a daily motivation text every single morning, straight to your phone, free of charge, to anyone who is in my texting community. If you would like to receive it, all you got to do is text me at the following number, 305-384-6894. The text is completely free. All you got to do is text me to get it. Every day that message is going to keep you focused, sharp, and on point. And as a bonus, you can respond to any one of those text messages, and you'll be dealing and engaging, communicating directly with me. That number, once again, 305-384-6894, completely free of charge, daily motivation every day, straight to your phone. So let's get to the topic. Why the rich get richer. This topic is, yes, we could talk about, when we say rich, we could be referring to money, we could be referring to success, we could refer to happiness, anything that people want more of. People who are already going in that direction, yes, they do get more of that. That is a true thing. This is not an oxymoron. It is a true thing. It is not a myth. It does really happen. The rich do get richer. And in a negative way, someone is poor. They say the poor get poorer. Does that really happen? Yes. Do unhappy people become more unhappy? Yes. Do losers lose more? Yes. These are real things. And yes, it is a true thing. It is a true phenomenon. It is occurring, in all of our lives right now. I don't know which direction it's going in for you. It may be going in different directions for different aspects of your life, but it is 100% true. And today, as I said, I'm going to explain to you the principles and the techniques and the science behind why this happens, but not science in a way that's going to go over your head, in a way that you will fully, completely understand exactly what I'm saying. Therefore, you have no excuse for not applying it. All right, that's what I do here on the show, in case you didn't know and in case you might be new. So today's topic is another way of saying, when we say the rich get richer, this is another way of saying why all of us become more of who and what we already are, and how we can do something about it, how we can change it if we so choose. Again, you have to make the choice to change this. This is not something that automatically happens. And I'm explaining all that. We haven't even gotten to the point yet. Point number one. Today's topic, once again, is why the rich get richer. We are all creatures of habit. Human beings are creatures of habit. If you look at your life, I don't know how many times I've said this, what I'm about to say to you on this show. I'm going to say it again now. I'm going to say it again in the future. You look at your life right now, any aspect of your life in which you are satisfied, happy, content. You like what you see. You like what you're doing. You like where you're at. I guarantee you there are a series of habits that have led you to that level of satisfaction, happiness, and contentment. There is something that you are doing habitually that has led to that outcome. Whether you know about it or not, you are performing habits that got you to that position. I will also tell you that if there's any area of your life in which you are unhappy, which you are unsatisfied, in which you are a work in progress, in which you need to do better and get better by your own estimation, I guarantee you there are some habits that led you to the point that you knew you needed to improve and get better and make changes. And hopefully right now you are enacting some better habits that are slowly turning the tide of that aspect of your life. All human beings, all of our results, who we are, what we do, what we have, what we don't have, who we're not, all of that stuff is based on habits, that we have been exercising over and over. Whether you are aware of them or not, those habits are controlling your life. Those habits are reflected in the results of your life. You want to know what your habits are, just look at your results. Let me say that one more time, just for the people in the back who didn't hear me. If you want to know what your habits are, look at your results. They're a direct reflection of the habits that have led you to where you are right now. Whether you are pleased with where you are or you are disappointed with where you are, your habits have led you there. Either way, it does not matter. Your habits are impartial to whether they are helping you or hurting you. All they do is what they do, which is repeat themselves over and over again, usually unconsciously. 85% of your habits are unconscious. I wrote about this in my book, Work on Your Game. If you have not read that book, go get it by going to workonyourgamebook.com. All of us as humans, we usually do more of what we are already doing. I told you in yesterday's episode how I was playing basketball one day and these two kids came up and they're like, let's play. And we played 2-on-1 and I kicked their ass and they're talking how they're all motivated to get better at basketball all of a sudden. Did they ever come work out with me again? I was at the playground again. No, they never worked out with me again. It's not because I was hiding from them. There was only one playground in the neighborhood and I couldn't hide. I wasn't trying to hide. They just never showed up again. Why? Because we all do more of what we are already doing. What were they doing? What would they have been doing had I not been at the playground practicing that day and they walked past the basketball court? They would have never stopped and never would have played a second of basketball that day. They didn't come up with a basketball. They were just walking by. They just seen me and decided they wanted to play basketball because I was there. They didn't even have a ball with them. They had no plans on playing basketball that day. And guess what they did the next day? No plans on playing basketball. It's exactly what they did. Not play basketball. What did I do? I came out there with a basketball. We all do more of what we are already doing. Smart people, you know what they do? They read. That's how they got smart in the first place. You know what fit people do? They go to the gym and exercise. People who have money, you know what they do? They invest their money. This is the law of inertia. We usually just keep doing the same stuff all the time, all of our lives. We think that we have so much control and, autonomy. And just thinking about what we're going to do every day. But usually we're just doing the same shit over and over again. This is the law of inertia. What is the law of inertia? For those who do not know, an object that is in motion tends to stay in motion, or an object that is not in motion tends to remain not in motion until or unless acted upon by an outside force. That is the law of inertia. Meaning, whatever you're already doing, you're just going to keep doing it unless an outside force changes the momentum and the trajectory of that object, the object being you. This is why habits matter so much, because once you get going in a certain direction with a habit, it is very hard to stop. The right habits make success a lot easier because you get going in the right direction and the habits take over. You can do those things, those positive success habits, unconsciously without thinking about them. So you're moving yourself towards success without even trying. That's why positive success habits lead people to success, and it doesn't even seem like they're working hard, but they're creating all this success simply because their habits are working for them. And this is why people who are going in the wrong direction with poor habits, losing habits that are leading you to failure in life, they can get to failure really quickly and really seemingly easily simply because your habits are leading you towards failure. You don't even have to try. You'll get there without even trying because your habits will do all the work for you. This is why habits matter so much, because good habits will lead you to success quickly with very little effort. Bad habits will lead you to success quickly with very little effort. This is the law of inertia. We just call it habits. That's an easier word, everyday word that people can understand, but it is actually the law of inertia in action. This is why habits matter so much. The right ones make success easy. You ever know somebody who just seems to always create success and it seems like they're not even trying that hard? That's because they have positive habits, the law of inertia, working in their favor. Any of you, have you ever felt like things were just not going right for you in a certain aspect of life and you started thinking about it, dwelling on it, emotionalizing it, and then something else bad happened, and something else bad happened, and something else, and before you knew it, your whole world was falling apart around you? Has any of you ever experienced that? Is there anyone listening to me right now that's experiencing that right now in your life? Let me tell you what that is. That is the law of inertia working with you. It's not even working for or against you. It's just working with you. It's science. All right. So science is not for or against anybody. It just is. Okay. It's just giving you what you're asking for. So right now you have the law of inertia working in a negative direction for you. So all these negative things keep happening, or things keep happening that you see as negative. So let me correct myself, because things are neutral. It's just you're seeing them as negative. And now you're creating this cascade of negativity in your life through your own mind. There is a way to change this. You must use a certain amount of energy and personal initiative to change the momentum of the situation, to stop it from going this way, turn it around and send it the other way. And I'm gonna tell you how to do that before this episode is up. Just planting that seed in your mind. The right habits make success easy. The wrong habits make success nearly impossible. So again, this doesn't have to be about being quote unquote rich, whatever that word means to you. It can be any word and the equation still works. You can take rich out, you can make fitness, you can make happiness, you can make intelligence. Any word that you want to put in there, you can swap out for rich and it still applies. The smart get smarter. The unfocused become even less focused. It requires a significant amount of energy, again, to stop momentum from one direction and send it in another direction. Usually it takes more energy to stop negativity to go towards positive than it takes to stop positivity and send towards negative. Why? Again, as the late, great Jim Rohn used to say, I would not sign up for that class. It just is what it is. Point number 2. Today's topic, once again, is why the rich get richer and how you can become one of those rich getting richer easily. Number 2, action and habits are based on expectations. The things that you do, that you choose to do, and the habits that grow from those choices, those seeds of actions. Habits are the plants that grow from the seeds of actions. That's a good quote right there. Quote me on that when you use it. They are based on expectations. In other words, we become more of what we already are simply because we have an expectation somewhere within us that is pushing or pulling us to do exactly that, to do more of what we're already doing. This is true of all human beings, positive, negative, or neutral, regardless of what they said. Because has any of you ever been or known someone who was saying they wanted one type of outcome in their life, but based on their actions, their expectations clearly were wanting something completely different from what they said they wanted? Any of you ever seen that before? And you couldn't quite understand why it was? This is why. Because someone's expectations and their words may not always be congruent. I'm sure all of us have seen this before. We're saying or seeing somebody say one thing, but they're doing something completely different. Like, all right, you're saying this, but your actions are showing that you don't even believe it. Ever seen that before? Have you ever been this person? Be honest. This is true of all human beings, that our expectations are really where we're headed, regardless of what we said. You ever see a person, again, claiming one thing, doing another? There's an expectation that is feeding the action. Forget the words, because we all know actions speak louder than words, right? As the saying goes, I can't hear what you're saying because your actions are speaking too loudly, or something like that. There's an expectation that feeds the action. If you want to change your habits, you got to change your mind. The first step in changing your habits is changing the way that you're thinking. In other words, altering your expectations. This is why the shortcut to altering expectations, folks, is not to just try to force yourself to think a different way and try to willpower your way into changing your thoughts, even though that can work. But the shortcut is, if you want to do it faster and more easily, this is why you join masterminds. This is why you read books. This is why you subscribe to podcasts, because it opens your mind to new possibilities, and you can get the formulas that you need to do this from someone who already knows the formula, and they can give it to you quickly without you having to figure it out all by yourself through a bunch of trial and error, and thusly using up time that you cannot get back. This is why you get the gain from other people. And then, hopefully, you act on the new ideas that you have uncovered through these other people, and you apply them, and you get the results. This is why you have to be discerning in who you're getting information from. As long as you're good at discerning who has the actual information that can actually communicate it in a way that can help you, listen to everything that they're saying, soak up the game and apply it, you'll get the results that you want. Simple as that. This is a simple formula, folks. It's just people don't apply this formula either because they're too lazy or because they think they're too smart to take it in. They think they're too smart that it can't be that simple. So they complicate it. This is what a lot of humans do. They complicate things. If you want to change your habits, change your mind. Act on the new ideas that you've uncovered from wherever, and you get the results. If you want to be in great physical shape, identify and implement great physical shape habits. If you want to be rich, identify rich habits and implement rich habits. If you want to be smart, identify habits of smart people and just do the same things that they do. If you want to be successful, find the people who match your definition of success and do the things that they're doing habitually. And here's a good thing about all of these positive results that I'm talking about here, these examples, rich, fit, smart, successful, is that people who have these things usually are really, really open about letting you know about it. They're usually very willing to tell you about how they did it. So the good news is you can get this information, exactly what habits these people have and how they created these habits and what they do to enact these habits. They usually are very, very free with letting you know about it. They'll give you the information. They put it in a book. They put it on their podcast. They put it inside a course. They put it in their training program. They put it in their coaching situation, whatever they have going on. They put it out there. They'll tell you the game. The question is, are you willing to get it and do something with it? Those are the actual questions. The question is not, is the game out there? The question is, are you willing to go get it and do something with it? That's the real question. So look at your habits right now, today, and you will see your expectations. Let me say that one again. Look at your habits today, and you will see your own expectations. If you don't like what you see, then you know what you need to do. Ask yourself, what expectations have birthed these habits that are not helping you? If you have some unhealthy habits, there's an expectation around that unhealthy habit that is feeding that action. When you change the expectation, it will stop feeding the action, therefore the habit will go away. And you can replace it with a healthier habit that is actually giving you what you want, or your new want. Because there's an expectation, there's something that you want. Maybe you're not conscious about it, and maybe you're not telling people directly. There's something that you want that is leading to a negative habit. It's not just a random thing. It's not like a virus that just finds its way into your body and you didn't bring it there. No, it's something you did that led to that negative expectation, that led to that habit that's not helping you. I can't even call it a negative expectation. It's just an expectation period that led to an outcome that you are saying that you don't want. But there's an expectation that's leading to that. So if you want to change that, then you got to change the expectation. You got to change your mind. Point number 3. Today's topic, once again, is why the rich get richer. To make change for anybody, it requires energy. In episode 609, I told you the 5 forms of investment: time, money, attention, energy, and focus. We already talked about the law of inertia. For you to create change in your life, and this is the only change that you are guaranteed to be able to create, is the change that happens in your life, not anyone else's life, but your life. You must be or acquire the quote-unquote outside force that can stop the momentum from going in one direction and send it back in the other direction. You must be that outside force. The law of inertia is an outside force must act upon an object to change its momentum. You got to be that force. And this is a choice. It's not a talent. It's not a skill. It's not something that randomly happens to you or doesn't happen to you. It is a decision that you make to be this force. Anywhere in your life where things aren't working the way you want, invest in that space to get the momentum going in the direction that you do want. How do you invest in something to get the momentum changed? You put time into it, you put money into it, you give it energy, you pay attention, and you focus. That's how you change momentum in any situation in life, specifically your own personal situation, because that one you are guaranteed to have control over. You don't have control over anything else, but you're guaranteed to have control over that. Many people, while aware of this, at least on a basic level, are either too lazy or too cheap with their resources, meaning they don't want to put time, money, attention, energy, focus into something, but they want a result. Makes no sense. Or they lack the fortitude to take on the task. I mean, they know what they need to do, and they say that they're willing to do it, but they're just not willing to be hard enough on themselves. They're not willing to let anyone be hard on them. They're not willing to be disciplined. They're not willing to enact that mental toughness. They're not willing to do it to themselves. And therefore, they stay where they are. This is what it is. If you have the wrong people around you, or you're not making the kind of money you want to make, or you are not as consistent in your business as you want to be, or if you're not in the physical shape that you want to be in, understand that all of these circumstances, while unwelcome, are changeable. There's no circumstance in life outside of death that is unchangeable. Even if the only thing you change is the way that you choose to look at the situation, you can always change a circumstance in your own life. You cannot change things on other people all the time, but you can always change the circumstance in your own life, even if the only thing you change is the way you think about a situation. And when you change the way you think about something, it often can lead to a different set of actions, i.e. different habits, and in the end, different results. Question is, are you willing to invest what it takes to make that change? That's the real question. The question is not, is it possible? I already told you it's possible. And I just explained to you how it's possible in a way that anyone can understand, even if you've never considered any of this stuff ever before in your life. Question is, are you willing to do it? That's the actual question. It's the only question. Let's recap today's class, which is why the rich get richer. It's another way of saying why we all become more of who and what we already are and how you can change it if you so choose. Point number one, we are all creatures of habit. We do more of what we are already doing. Smart people read. Fit people, they exercise. People with money, they invest. This is all the law of inertia. We just keep doing the same stuff that we are already doing. It doesn't have to be about being rich. It can be any word you can swap in there that you want as a positive outcome, people, or a negative outcome. People just become more and more of what they are already doing. This is the law of the universe. Point number two, actions and habits are based on expectations. We become more of what we already are because there is an expectation somewhere within us that is pushing us to do more of a thing, whether we want it or we don't want it. At least we say we want it or don't want it. There's an expectation within us that keeps us doing a negative habit, destructive habit that's not helping us, or the habits that are helping us win. There is something within us that is pushing us to keep doing it. There's an expectation feeding that action. You want to change your actions. You got to change the habits. To change the habits, you got to change your mindset. And this is a choice. And hopefully when you act on the new ideas that you get, you'll get different results. That's how it works. Point number three, to change requires energy. It requires a lot of energy to make change in life. This is the law of inertia. You must be or acquire the outside force that can stop your momentum from going one way and send it in the opposite direction. Anywhere in your life where things are not working the way that you want, you must invest in that space to get momentum going in a positive direction. Many people are just too lazy or too cheap with their time, money, attention, energy, and focus to enact this, even though the information is freely available. And most people who say they want to make change are aware of this. So if you have the wrong people around you, you're not making your money, you're not consistent, you're not in the shape you want to be in, all of these are changeable circumstances. The question is, are you willing to invest what it takes in order to make that change? Because the change is possible. All this said, text me to get my daily motivation every single day to your phone. That'll actually help you start going in the right direction. My number is 305-384-6894. And if you want to be coached by me, I have one-on-one coaching and group coaching. You can choose between either by going to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre all day.